It is. It's just I was just conserving its battery.
I'm pretty sure one now the videos now.
Cool. We're live on YouTube.
Okay.
And this is Trigger and His Grace.
Chapter is entitled, I Command You, Become Guru. It's chapter 6. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
And we are live on Facebook now.
We're reading from Sri Guru and His Grace, continuing our cover-to-cover reading by so the chapter is entitled I Command You, Become Guru. It's chapter number 6. Sri Guru and His Grace by Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sri Dhadev Goswami Maharaj. It is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.31.9 Tava katamritam tapta jivanam kavibir iditam kalma shapaham Shravana Mangalam Srimad Atatam Bhuvi Grinanti Ti Buri Dajana. O Krishna, the nectar of your words and the narrations of your pastimes give life to us, who are always suffering in this material world. This nectar is broadcast all over the world by great souls, and it removes all sinful reactions. It is all auspicious and filled with spiritual power. Those who spread this message of Godhead are certainly doing the greatest relief work for human society and are the most magnanimous welfare workers. This is what is necessary, and this is what is universal. Everyone can be satisfied to the highest degree in their hearts only by the nectar of Krishna's words and the nectarian descriptions of his activities. This is because Krishna is Raso Vaisa, the reservoir of all pleasure, and Akila Rasamritamurti, ecstasy himself. Krishna's very nature is sweet. Madhuram Madhuram Vapur Asya Vibhur Madhuram Madhuram Vadanam Madhuram Madhugandhi Mridhu Smitam Itad Aho Madhuram 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 Madhuram. O Lord Krishna, the beauty of your transcendental form is sweet, but your beautiful face is even sweeter. The sweet smile on your face, which is like the sweet aroma of honey, is sweeter still. I'm being nectarized. This verse is found in Bilvamangal Thakur's Krishna Kanamritam, verse 92. He says, sweet, 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 sweetness. Krishna is sweetness personified. At my first sight, I thought Krishna was Cupid, who can capture everyone. But then I saw, no, this is not like lust personified, which can be experienced only in the material world. This is Chinmay, spiritual substance. I see that this sweetness is spiritual and characteristic. I feel it. It is the very gist of all sweetness. What is this? My eyesight is being nectarized. I am experiencing nectar pouring on my eyes. Oh, Krishna has already conquered my heart. I am captured, I am captivated by sweetness personified. Marasvayam nu madhura juti mandalam nu madhuryam eva nu mano nayanam ritam nu venu mrijo nu mama jivita valabho nu balo yam abhyudayate mamalochanaya. My dear friends, where is Krishna, who is Cupid personified, brilliant as the Kadamba flower? Where is Krishna, sweetness himself, the sweetest nectar for my eyes and mind? Where is Krishna, who loosens the hair of the gopis? He is the supreme source of divine bliss. He is my life and soul. Has he come before my eyes again? This is Bilvamangala Thakur's statement from Sri Krishna Karnamritam, verse 68. Whatever type of sorrow or affliction there may be, all different layers of painfulness will be removed. This nectar of the words and pastimes of Krishna gives us life. It gives us hope that we can live a higher life, that we were not created only to suffer in this mortal world, but to live a life which can soar up and transcend this painful life of mortality. We have that sort of life of vitality in our own intrinsic form. The speculationists say that Krishna consciousness only does away with all sinfulness, but theirs is only an external acquaintance with Krishna consciousness. Sin is nothing in comparison with his purifying capacity. As soon as we come in contact with Krishna, even in the form of mere sound through the ear, our real welfare begins to awaken. Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. Krishna consciousness is infinitely surcharged with all the resources for our welfare. And those who can distribute Krishna consciousness to the world are really benevolent and kind-hearted. They give the most, who give Krishna to those who are helpless and disappointed. Only this sort of transaction should be continued in the world to save these souls suffering from the disease of mortal connection. Divine nectar. The descriptions about Krishna are like divine nectar. So go on with this transaction, always giving Krishna consciousness. And you can give Krishna consciousness, if you can. You will have an ample supply of Krishna consciousness that will descend from the higher position. If you are sincere to distribute Krishna consciousness, you will have no want in your capital, in your own capital. New capital will be supplied to you as much as you can give it to others. It will have a connection with the infinite source. So go on. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Yarideka tarikaha Krishna upadesh Amara agyaya guru hana tara e desh. Whomever you find, talk with him only about Krishna. We have no other engagement. Whomever you find, any soul you come across, try to save him from this desert of mortality. I command you, don't be afraid. Take the position of Guru, the giver, and give it to everyone. Then Mahaprabhu says, Kabu na vadhibe tomara vishaya taranga, punarapi e tani pabe mora sangha. And in this transaction, you will find my backing. If you obey my command for distribution to one and all, then you will find that I am there, backing you in this work. So, your great master has engaged you all like so many dedicated soldiers. Now you must do relief work in this world of mortality and death. Do relief work. Somehow we have to get Krishna consciousness for ourselves and also carry this news to our neighbors. Mahaprabhu says, whomever you meet, tell him about Krishna. And in this way save the people. They are all under the influence of eternal mortality. Only this path is relevant to their condition. All other talks are irrelevant. So the devotee here is being exhorted to preach, to spread Krishna consciousness. That is the movement of Mahaprabhu, to proselytize, to spread Krishna consciousness. And one's intelligence needs to be applied in such a practice. So Mahaprabhu says, give Krishna, tell everyone about Krishna. Then intelligence and tact and the harnessing of one's intellect in forms of developing a strategy to do that effectively is necessary. I remember sitting on a bus once in New Zealand, in Auckland, a public bus. There was people on the bus. And I wasn't dressed in dhoti and kurta, just sitting there going on a trip. And then I hopped on and sat down, and I noticed it's like someone's chanting Hare Krishna on the bus. I turn around, there's a devotee, a new devotee had just joined. He's sitting up the back of the bus, in the very back seat, and he had his japa. He's chanting really loudly, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So everyone on the bus could hear. It's quite a full bus. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. He was purifying everyone, you see. But he may have in his head been thinking, yes, Yari Deke Tarikaha Krishna Upadesh. He's like telling everyone about Krishna, everyone he's met, even if he hasn't met them, even if they're just in his proximity, they're hearing Krishna's name. So the intention is admirable, but there needs to be a certain amount of tact and application of intelligence in order to be effective in carrying out that instruction of Mahaprabhu. Because unless you do apply your intelligence, and this is common sense, unless you do apply your common sense, then you may produce an opposite effect. You may do more damage than good.
Because otherwise people are like, those bloody friggin'
Don't swear, please.
Those bloody people chanting Krishna so loudly are like trying to like those Indian Bible bashers.
Yeah, it'll come across in a negative way. For sure. And it will also tend towards the prohibition in the Dasnamaparad of giving spiritual instruction to faithless people, or presenting the holy name to faithless people. So there needs to be a consideration of that as well. So on one hand, Mahaprabhu has given an instruction to tell everyone about Krishna, and on the other hand, there's a precaution being given. Don't instruct those that are faithless. So there needs to be an intelligent balance that needs to be reconciled. And so yes, tell everyone, but do not try and force something down someone's throat if they're not receptive, if they're not interested or favorable. Then any attempt to coerce will have an opposite effect. Jaws of death. Everyone is rushing into the jaws of death. This is the sum total of the news of this world. It is the only news. Every second, everyone is entering the jaws of death. This is the real problem, nothing else. The whole problem, if summarized, will come to this, that every second, every atom here is entering into the jaws of death. This is the great and only danger in the world. So all the other talks are irrelevant to the real problem of life. Try to help them from entering into the jaws of death. This is the only problem in the whole world. Go forth and tell everyone about Krishna. Whatever you do, make them talk about Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Save yourself and prepare yourself for the highest goal. Whenever you meet anyone, wherever you meet anyone, only talk of Krishna, and all other talks are irrelevant and redundant. Mahaprabhu says, it is my command, don't think that if you do this and take the position of Guru, when the people come to honor you, you will forget your own ordinary position, become puffed up with pride, and go to hell. No, I order you, go on. The relief work is there. You cannot stand idle as an onlooker. So I say, jump. Take a leap of faith. Start relief work, I order you to do so. and I shall take whatever responsibility is there. The whole world is dying, so always, at every second, the real need is Krishna Katha. So a famous saying of Siddhanta Saraswati is that there is no lacking of anything in the world, there is no lack of any resource, except Krishna consciousness. And that was his. That was a motto that drove the Gaudiya Math, drove the preaching of the Gaudiya Math. Is that there is no need or no lack of anything, but consciousness of Krishna, the Krishna conception. You will get my association only by obeying my orders and discharging the duty that I am entrusting with you. You will find me there in your obedience of my order, in the discharge of the duty I impose on you. Is it reasonable or not? Every one of us can judge. What will be the relief work to save those in the mortal world? What will give real help to the people? Not clothing them or feeding them, nothing of the kind. Everyone is dropping down dead. Once, when I was in the Madras Math, someone came and criticized us, saying, "Oh, you are only talking about Krishna, and people are dying without food. Don't you mind?" I said, no. He told me, the Ramakrishna mission is doing real relief by feeding so many. If a man dies of starvation, how will he hear you? Where will you get a listener if he dies? First make them live, feed them, and then you can tell them about Krishna. I told him, suppose there is a famine. I have some food. I am distributing it to so many people. There is a great crowd before me. If, while I am distributing food, someone from the crowd flees, what should I do? Should I distribute the food or run to catch him? He said, you must distribute the food. That is natural. I said, the crowd is always ready to hear from me about Krishna. Why should I waste my time running after one man? So many people are coming to hear from me about Krishna, and I cannot attend them all. Why should I stop distribution of the nectar and run to catch one man? This is a foolish attempt. We are interested in helping people by distributing Krishna Katha, and we pay no attention to any so-called danger. All are in need of this guidance. You must only engage yourself in Krishna Katha, go on talking about Krishna, and continue with that vibration. So the Ramakrishna mission is the mission of one... have you heard of the Ramakrishna mission? So the leader of the mission is Vivekananda, one Vivekananda, who's quite a famous... Actually, he's very revered in India. He became famous after giving a speech at the World Assembly of Religions in Chicago in the 1890s. And he is adored in India, actually, as a ambassador, as a heroic ambassador of Vedic thought or Hindu thought. But he is an impersonalist, a Mayavadi. So although they recognize Krishna, they will not recognize the Swayam Bhagavan, or the ultimate nature of the personality, the personhood of Krishna. Krishna's form is seen as subsidiary to the impersonal aspect, the Brahman, formless aspect of the Absolute. And they have a concept, which Guru Maharaj is talking about here, of service to humanity is identical with service to Bhagavan, or service to God. That is their concept. And it's framed as Manava Seva is Madhava Seva. There's one saying they have. Manava Seva is Madhava Seva. Now Mana means man, or human, the humankind. And Seva is, of course, service. And Madhava is a name of Krishna. So their concept is that if you perform humanitarian works, welfare activities, philanthropy, opening schools, hospitals, treating people with illnesses of various kinds, etc., then it is tantamount to performing direct service to Krishna or service to Krishna's devotees. In other words, it is equated with actual devotional service. Another saying is, they call it Daridra Narayan, or the humans that have found themselves in difficult situations, in disadvantaged conditions. To help them is considered by the Mayavadi to be service to Narayan. So it's known as Daridra Narayan, or the fallen Narayan. So it's considered that if you help people materially, then you will make spiritual advancement, and it is as if you are serving Narayan, performing devotional service to God. What it will do is perhaps dissolve your karma and take you up to the platform of Brahman realization, but it is impossible to access the plane of devotional service with such a strategy. It is not going to lead to Ananya Bhakti. Because it is known as karma yoga. It may be selfless service to a certain extent, but it is still karma. So it may be devoid of karma as in a desire to reach the heavenly planets after one's death, to reach a level of existence which is considered something akin to paradise compared to life on planet Earth. It may be more refined karma yoga than that. So there may be an element of selflessness that leads to the purification of karma from one's being, cleans one's consciousness, and leads to impersonal liberation. But that is also unacceptable regarding a definition of pure devotional service. Rupa Goswami says in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, first chapter, he gives a definition of bhakti, and anyabila sitashunya jnana karma janavritam anukulyena krishna anushilanam bhakti rutama. So Uttama Bhakti, or topmost Bhakti, is characterized by a complete absence. Shunya, the Sanskrit word shunya means an absence of something, zero. So there's no trace of any jnana or karma. So selfless, even so service to humanity in terms of philanthropy or humanitarian work, even if it is, let's say, even if it is not tinged by selfish motive, it is still karma to a certain extent. It is still an application of the karma yoga process, and that must be eliminated for bhakti proper for it to be qualified as bhakti, at least according to Rupa Goswami. Where was I here? When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going from Puri to Vrindavan through the jungle path, the elephants, deer and tigers were chanting Krishna, Krishna and dancing. How? His Krishna Katha created such a fine vibration that it entered into the ears of the tigers, deer and elephants and awakened their hearts. And they began to chant Krishna, Krishna, Krishna and dance. Mahaprabhu's vibration of Krishna's name was so fine and surcharged with force that the sound entered within the animals and aroused in their hearts the innermost plane which was covered by the elephant's or tiger's body. Just like electricity, the finest current of the holy name of Krishna entered into the hearts of all the animals, and their souls were aroused. And when their souls were awakened, they began to chant Krishna, Krishna. Everywhere the environment is full of animation, and just as a ray of light penetrates the darkness, in a similar way, the vibration of Krishna Katha will strike a chord within the soul, create some inspiration there toward Krishna consciousness. So continue preaching Krishna consciousness. We have no other duty, no other work. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada went the length and breadth of the world with Krishna consciousness. The fact that you have all come here is due to his earnestness. He has gone to the upper world, and so, in his name, we are going on with some sort of transaction. And so this chapter is essentially an instruction and a glorification of spreading Krishna consciousness, preaching Krishna consciousness. And preaching is essentially kirtan. People may think that kirtan is necessarily instruments, mridanga, kartal, congregational singing. And that is true, it is that, but it is also more than that. So kirtan in the broader sense means a glorification of Krishna. So kirtan can be verbal, but it can also be written. So writing, in terms of writing material that can spread Krishna consciousness to others, is highly recommended. Because Guru Maharaj says elsewhere that with an oral transmission of Krishna Katha, Krishna consciousness, discussions of Krishna, there is a certain level of concentration involved. But with writing, putting it on the medium of a recorded text, more deliberation and more concentration must go into such an expression. And thus, that application of consciousness, that concentration, necessarily involves a deeper type of kirtan. So there's more concentration, there's more application of one's consciousness in the process of kirtan. That can be kept in mind. Jai Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sri Dhadev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Srila Gurudev ki Jai. We will continue tomorrow, same place, same time. Be here or be square. Hari Hare Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hare Hare Rama.
Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Sakara Shri Shri Guru Garangaradha Giri Hari Ju Ki Jai. Jai Vishnu Pad Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Vishnu Pad Srila Bhakti Sunda Govinda Dev Swami Maharaj Srila Guru Dev Ki Jai. Jai Vishnu Pad Srila Bhakti Rakha Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Rupanu Guru Varga Ki Jai. Dhamacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Samaveda Vaishnav Mandala Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Brinda Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Jai Go Premanandi Hari Hari Bo.